Hello, everybody. Welcome to WWTF. We want the Facts of the Game Show. I'm Mike C.
Now, Fred White.
Hey, today we're talking about the Super Bowl. It was last Sunday, so we saw the Super Bowl. And how about you, Fred? Was you excited about the Super Bowl?
I was rooting for the Panthers, man, right. But evidently they didn't pull it through.
Yeah.
You know, and really, I'm not really a big sports fan. Mm-hmm. Honestly, whatever team wins, I'll get their jersey so I can sport it for the summer. So I'm not a true football fan, right. Though I am a Michael Vick fan.
Right.
But this game, I knew it was completely over.
Uh-huh. When exactly did you know?
The first quarter.
Yep.
When they got an interception.
Yes.
And I was like, now I didn't really follow Carolina, but I followed some of their games, not all their games. But I saw that they didn't play like Carolina that correct. I saw.
Correct.
And a lot of that was like there were some questionable calls.
A whole lot
that the refs did not see. I can remember 3 in particular. I remember one. I think 2 were at the last quarter, either the third or fourth quarter, where they didn't get a roughing the passer call, and there was what was it? It was a catch that was they deemed to be incomplete, and there was another one where the guy went up in the air, caught the ball, and it was pass interference wasn't called on him because Denver clearly had his hands around the receiver before he even touched the ball, and he pushed him down, and the refs didn't call it, but they was calling every penalty on Carolina.
Yeah, it really was.
So,
and what you was talking about was that pass to Crossley, if I'm saying the name right, when he caught the ball and he still had total possession of the ball, turned over, and they still called it incomplete. A lot of people say that when the refs call incomplete before a challenge, it's not really going to get overturned, man, when they do that challenge. So that's just a waste of time. But yeah, it seemed like a lot of stuff was against Carolina. You know, I wasn't a Carolina nor a Broncos type fan. My team, of course, was Redskins' home team. But they didn't make it, so there it is.
Yeah, I think a lot of he should have humbled himself, Cam. He should have humbled himself. There were like some post interviews that they did before the game where he tried to say that nobody was compared to what could be compared to what he does. The MVP gold shoes that he wore out on the field, and you know, there was. I think he had the mentality of I had already won the Super Bowl just because of their record and their dominance.
Correct.
And he didn't go into the game thinking I gotta beat them, but you know, I just gotta hold the victory. That's my outtake on it. And you know, Cam Newton, you know, he's a real guy that humbles himself, and he has real self-control. There was one play where it was passing a roughing the passer, I'm sorry, and you can clearly see him. Looks like he's about to rip that helmet off and throw it down, but he took his helmet. He was like, and woosah, man. And I gotta applaud you for that one, bro, because you showed
a lot of restraint.
Yeah, because me, I had that helmet when it came off in a minute, man. And yeah, but I just think he got too ahead of himself. And they just got frustrated. They practically beat them on themselves.
Yeah, because I noticed that it seemed like his front line was not even really defending them. Broncos was just running through their front line, which I couldn't understand. But like you said, we saw Panthers of old and we saw Panthers of Super Bowl, and there were 2 different teams. So.
Yeah, I think that the nerves got to him. And even with the penalties that weren't called on Denver, I don't think that they would have won this game, but I believe that the refs were questionable, and most of their calls not seeing what Denver was doing. And there's, you know, a lot of controversy with they wanted what's his name?
Manning.
Yeah, they wanted him to go out on top, you know. And the one thing that that was really funny when the Broncos won at the fourth quarter, it was a shot of their brother and the Mannings in the booth. And if you can see the look on his brother's face, his brother's face was like, it was priceless. It was like he hated that they won the Super Bowl. He was like, well, I'm not going to be the favorite child anymore. And that's the type of look that he had.
Man, he got it.
He was salty, bro. You just gotta look at that footage, man, and just see the ending of it. He was. There was no joy in his face
like,
for his brother's victory.
Nothing like that. Not no, yeah, bro.
This is exactly how his face was. That was it, bro. Like,
wow.
Now you gonna get the big piece of turkey at Thanksgiving now. You know what I'm saying? He was salty, man. Right. But yeah, the Super Bowl and then the commercials.
Yeah.
I think the funniest commercial, and not everybody get it because they're not old enough, was the Wheezy commercial.
Oh, the Georgia Wheezy Apartments.
Yeah, with Lil Wayne and what's his name? Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah,
I think that's his name.
Jeff Goldblum was up there playing the piano.
And it was like, is that George and Wheezy? Most people didn't get that reference because you watch the Jeffersons.
Exactly. They don't know about the Jeffersons, man. There was only a couple good commercials. The one that was the weirdest out of all of them was the Mountain Dew commercial with the monkey baby or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I didn't know what was going on. That was like the worst.
There was another good one with the Dorito, with the wife getting the ultrasound. Playing with the Dorito. Yes, he threw the Dorito, and the baby was like, I want that Dorito, and just came out of it. But Super Bowl, it was kind of a snooze fest. Like I was at the Applebee's with my cousin and my man LT, and second quarter I left, man, because I was like, this game, I already knew the Panthers was going to lose, so by the time I got in the house and I seen the final score, and I was like, there it is. I didn't miss anything. Bruno Mars and Beyonce
and Coldplay,
and it was just like, it seemed like they were at the last year's Super Bowl halftime.
Well, actually, because Bruno, I think, did last year, didn't he?
Bruno Mars
but he killed it last year, you know what I'm saying? That's why they I guess they try to capture that again.
Yeah.
But, last year he killed it. This year, not so much. It was okay. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no mind-blowing performance like they did last year, but it was just okay.
And so, I really wasn't excited for the Super Bowl this year. But there was something else that not everybody's talking about. Denver, the fans, some of the fans were like total idiots. They destroyed their city.
Wow.
They went out there and they were turning over cars and things like that. And the news media did not show you that. And I followed it, but none of them were called thugs or hoodlums. They were just called disgruntled fans or outraged fans. So they didn't brand them like they branded us, the people from Baltimore. I'm not from Baltimore, but I'm just saying us as in African American people. They didn't brand them as hoodlums and thugs and all this other crap. But they're destroying their own city off of a celebration, off of a win. How stupid can you be to do something like that?
Right.
But they didn't show that. But they showed Baltimore and those thugs and gangs and all this other stuff. It's getting to the point where I don't even really watch TV anymore. I watch Twitch TV. That's pretty much what I watch. But yeah, Super Bowl, I just thought it was a snooze fest. Cam, you kind of defeated yourself with the boasting and the bragging and the MVP, and you should have just humbled yourself, went out there and played and
Well, he's a young cat, Manning's an older cat, so you live and you learn, and you know what's going on. All right, like always, I think that wraps it up.
Yeah, and please remember to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter.
There you go. All right, like always, we thank you guys for tuning in, and don't forget about the Apple Wrap we got going on. And also, we do have the swag bag. We're going to let you know as far as the date when we're going to do that. And we got a lot of stuff coming up, so just stay tuned and stay with us. And we'll see you next time on WWTF.
We want the facts.
The Gamer Show. See you guys then.